Hey everybody, it's time for Tech Talk Thursday with,
Woo!
with no one else but Mr. Neil Richmond. Let's hear it.
Oh, the crowd's very silent. I don't know why.
Woo! They're there. I know they are, Neil. I've
Yes,
got
yeah.
faith. Today we are talking revenge of technology. You know how we always love to put a spin on things, and so you never know what you're going to get. But
Yeah.
today you're going to get revenge on technology. Neil, take it away.
Well, I know what some of you are thinking right now. You're hoping to see Neil with a sledgehammer taking on a laptop or something like that. That would be revenge on technology. Or maybe it's the other way where, a laptop's taking me on or something like that. But we're not going to show any of that today. It's funny because I am old enough to have not grown up with technology, and I don't know all the factors that led me into this world, but I'm obviously having technology conversations with programs all the time, every day, pretty much, and there's always somebody who brings up two things about technology every single time. One, our students don't know technology, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But number two is that the staff in the adult ed programs are sometimes not into technology, afraid of technology, all those sort of things. And I just want to sort of address that a little bit and then dive in. Look, the reality is technology is our life. It's our world right now. I am actually sitting here today in the heart of Hollywood, Los Angeles, California is where we are presenting because we're at a conference out here. And as I look out my window around my hotel here, there is technology everywhere, billboards and lights and all sorts of stuff that wasn't here when Hollywood was what it was years ago. It just didn't exist. It was paper glued onto a billboard and things like that. But time has changed. Why? Because our attention has changed. Our world has changed. So much has changed around us. So as we talk about this today, I want to put it in the context of the fact that we as adults live in a technology world. That's number one. Just little things like here's two big changes that I think of immediately. The contactless sort of world that we live in now post-COVID has forced technology on us. I went to go get a drink before we left to come over here. I think my wife and I went to Five Guys, the burger place in Plainfield, Indiana, and I went to go get a drink, and I noticed up in the top corner of their little machine, they had a QR code. And if you wanted to have contactless access to their beverage machine, you could scan that with your phone and then run everything off of your phone. And I was like, how crazy is that? 2 years ago, we would never have considered that an option. They wouldn't have even presented it. But here we are 2 years later, and that is something people want and need access to. So we have moved, and had to move faster in the last few years. So I know some of you thinking about this topic are hearing revenge of technology. Yeah, exactly, because now I have to do stuff I never did. Dentists and doctors and all that sort of thing. Book an appointment online, get text reminders, answer yes, answer no, send us a funny picture, whatever it is. These are all part of the conversation today. And that's not going away. And so I am a big believer in the fact that adult ed has to step up to the times. What we do as programs, what we offer our students, families, community has to sort of reflect that. And so I want to talk through a few things that I think flip the script a little bit. We hear revenge of technology, and I think we think negative. I go back to that old classic Revenge of the Nerds, right? But we think negative, like technology is pulling one over us. It's making our life more challenging. I want to flip the script and I want to just talk about some of the things that we are thinking about at Connectable that affects adult education programs, where we are able to get the revenge on technology. And by that, I mean harness it to actually move ourselves forward in some better ways. So that's my thought process as I've been thinking through this. I know tech is a real pain. I know it's a challenge. We are bringing tech into schools, and there are some people in schools who don't want to see me because when I show up, it means that they're going to have to learn something new and all of that. We get that all the time. We have a teacher at, and I will try to keep this as unidentifiable as possible, but we have a teacher at one of the adult ed programs who is advanced in years and is not a fan of technology and has shared that with me on numerous occasions. We introduced some new technology to their program where attendance would be taken online, and he was not a happy camper. And he expressed that to both Amy and myself in no uncertain terms, that this was not going to be good. About 3 or 4 months later, Amy actually went and had coffee to talk through some things with this particular teacher. And he expressed to her how much he loved the new attendance system that we had brought to the table. And in fact, so emphatically that he stated, I want to be sure that you don't take this away. Leave it as it is. It works. It's great. My life is better now because of that. And I think about it, and I often think, well, if I listen to every single person's opinion about where they stand on this topic, we may not get anywhere with all of that. So we have to march forward. We're marching forward, and we're trying to do our best to make it good for everybody. So I'm going to talk you through half a dozen, I don't know, I didn't even count how many things that we've implemented using technology that we think get revenge on it, because we're harnessing it to make adult ed better, to make your life better, and to improve processes and systems in some ways. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen, and then we will take a look at some of this. All right, I won't start here, but we're going to finish with inters. So we'll come back around on that topic. We're going to finish with inters. Here's something that I really am thinking is making a difference when it comes to technology today that we're implementing. And I'm seeing it on some of your programs' websites and that. Obviously, the ones we build, we're including this, but many still don't. And I am looking at a lot of different websites, adult ed programs around the state and around the country right now. And that is the use of the technology of translation. I know how difficult it can be. In fact, I stepped into an adult ed program not that long ago and was waiting to talk to some of the staff. And in the meantime, a student came in and asked me some questions about registering. And it was interesting because obviously this is stuff we've built for the program, but I hadn't actually had student conversations about this. So it was fun for me to go through the experience of helping them understand that they could translate this into their language, which he happened to be from Haiti. So we're able to translate that into the Creole for him so that he could understand what was being asked. Because no matter what I did, I couldn't help him understand some of the questions by trying to do it in English. And, sometimes you can try to draw pictures and do different things. Some people speak louder and they think that works and so on. But we were able to make one switch and make that useful. So I think that's one way that we're really harnessing technology well, where we can do that. And look, I'll be the first to admit this is not perfect. Right? Here's Dutch, for example. I know it's not perfect translation, but with the speed at which we can make this available and the ease and really to programs the lack of costs associated with translating, we're able to make something that is very good available. And that makes a difference right there. So that's one thing we're doing. The second thing is on this page as well. We thank our friends up at NEO, Adrian and the team up at NEO Adult Ed for allowing us to share their page. But this interest form that we collect. See, the problem that I was introduced to quite a few years ago now was, how in the world do we capture all of this inquiry? And some of you run very small programs, and I get you don't get a ton, but some of you get a lot of inquiries into your program. And in case you don't know, there are, I think I'm right in saying this, about 400,000 adults in Indiana who don't have a high school diploma, and many of which probably still don't know that adult ed could supply that for them, that they could take a fast track course, or that they could take their time in the evenings to actually go through and get the skills they need to be able to take the high set and get that high school equivalency. There are so many that don't know it. And so communicating it is part of it, but part of it is a system. And so what we've built on our sites for our clients around the state and around the country is these quick little interest forms that are the first step. And they just put in their name, phone number, email, what they're interested in, boom, move on. Why is that important in the whole use of technology and all that? Some people say you're just going to repeat the same information later. Yes. But what we're doing is we're actually collecting everything in one place where we can manage that to the best of our abilities. And if a program comes to us who's using this and says, we need more HSE students, we need more ELL students, we can go and grab from this first step and usually fill the spots that they're looking for. That's great use of technology, in my opinion, because programs traditionally that I have talked to, they're taking these interests on sticky notes and sticking them somewhere. Or somebody has created a spreadsheet that only they manage and have all the names on it. So when they're not there, nobody can see it. Or even better yet, oh yeah, I've saved them all on my voicemail. But they're all scattered. They're not in one place. And then if we have to gather them together, it's hard. We're missing information and so on. So technology really does help us to take next steps like that. And then the next one, I think, is a huge step forward, is digitizing the registration form. Now, I know a lot of you are doing this in various forms. Some of you are using Google Forms for this. Some of you are using the Microsoft online forms and different things like that. And I'm happy to see, as I look around at adult ed websites around the country, that programs are getting the message that they have to have a digital way to start this process. But I want to tell you why I think this is really important. Number one, goes back to what I said earlier. They're able to translate this into a language that helps them know better than it would if it was English, if they're struggling with English, what is being asked for. So that's advantage number one. Advantage number two that I learned quite a few years ago is really important. Now I can't switch it off of Bengali here. So I got to hopefully get myself back to it, but my system, my technology is messing with me. Help. Here we go. I got it now. Number two is, well, students complete the registration form, but they don't answer every question. And I've seen this before where because not everything was answered, but it's required to be entered into enters, they have to go back, send it to the teacher. The teacher has to wait for that student to come back to class and remember to do this, give them back the form, indicate what they have to redo, then get that back to data so data can enter it back in enters. And in the meantime, weeks have gone by. Very inefficient system today. Technology can help, and we can make it so that they are required to fill everything in this. And then the third thing that I really like that this brings to the table that is often a problem, and it's a problem for me, because when I fill in forms, I scribble. I'm horrible. I can't write neatly for anything. And good luck to the person who's trying to read it on the other end. So with this, we're able to produce a nice, beautiful looking PDF that has all the information in it in a readable form and ready to go. And that's a huge advantage that technology can bring to the table, I believe. A couple of other things we're just thinking about technology and going, what other systems can we replace? So we have this as one of them, where we are collecting everything that's needed for externships. how cool is that in the big picture of things? We're able to actually have all the documentation that's required for a student to go out and get work experience collected, sitting on the back end of the site, ready to be deployed wherever it needs to go. That's great use. And again, we can require everything. We can look on the back and we can see who's complete and who's not complete. We can send messaging out to people to say, hey, you're not complete with this. We need it by such and such a date. Please get that taken care of. I think that's another great use of technology, leveraging it to help. Here's another cool thing we've started doing. We are building these great for hire pages for programs that are offering career training, and we're able to help students get jobs. But more importantly, well, no, that's important. As importantly, we're helping adult ed programs make connections with community employer partners as well by giving them access to these pages, password protect pages, where they can go in, they can see who's available, they can gather their information and everything. They can click on a link to get their resume. It's all right here and ready to go for them. What a great use of technology is this? The student is going through career training information, they're submitting their resume and they're getting a nice photo taken. They are putting in their personal contact information, email, and that sort of thing. And we're taking and just packaging that up and making it available for programs. That's pretty cool. And then I think another one of the great things that we've been able to pull together is what we're calling our student information system. We're not here to replace INTERS in any way, shape, or form. That's not our agenda at all. But we're able to supplement and add different things in and be able to show student information in a quick and easy way to take online attendance. That's often a big thing with programs, the sign-in sheets and all that goes with that. We have an electronic attendance system we've built in. We can see how many days it was in a color-coded fashion since they last attended class. We can send automatic notifications out when they've reached so many days of not attending class to remind them to come back in. These are just great little ways that we're taking and harnessing technology in a way that makes it more useful for adult ed. And here's the side piece of this that I think is even more exciting. Again, we're not in the business of doing away with people's jobs or anything like that. That's not our goal with this. But our goal is, how can we take the time that is spent on paperwork and shuffling papers and filing papers and adding information into programs and things like that, automate that, and then allow those people to plug in on other important tasks that your program needs. That's our ultimate goal that we want to achieve through what we're doing. And so our student information system is a big part of that. We've incorporated text messaging in. That's again something. Text messaging is so much more effective. We've done that in some past tech talks. So we've got that available as well. So with all of that, that's pretty cool that we've built. But we had the opportunity to start working with Matt Kreitz, DWD, Steve Sherb, the developer of INTERS, and actually build an integration in. So what we're able to do is to take this registration file here. So all the information that a student entered back on this step here, where registration is all here, we're able to take that. We're able to produce a PDF of all of that here, which is great. That's very useful. That's very helpful in the whole big picture of things. But we're able to take that one step further now, and we're able to automatically drop that into INTERS and have it ready to go to be added directly into INTERS and fill the fields. So this is often a, what will I say, 15 to 20 minute process to take all of what's on this form here. Sorry, not that one, this one here, and enter that into INTERS. That takes quite a while to get all that done. Well, we're able to take that and shorten that down and make it such that you can quickly add the student into INTERS. If they happen to exist already, we can merge that record if we choose to do that, or we can just go ahead and create a new record. You know, I'm able to check whether that information is right. I'm able to then add them in. And just with that click right there, I'm able to fill all the fields in INTERS A student is now added, and all their data is populated into these fields. That's a pretty good revenge on technology, if you ask me. We're able to really get that all dialed in together. All their contact information, all their demographic information is all listed right here and is ready to go. So I don't know, as you're listening to this, you might be hearing about different things here, there, or everywhere about technology and how it's taken away jobs or this or that or something else in the mix. But what I want to tell you is our goal and what we believe technology can do and what it can drive is an opportunity for your programs to reach more students, have a great system and process to get them plugged into your program, and then ultimately by leveraging technology, allow you to spend more time in your program impacting lives instead of pushing papers around and dealing with all those sorts of things. So anyway, that's my revenge of technology for today. Take revenge on technology, use it, and use it to grow your programs in the best way you possibly can.
I think you summed it up best. Whenever it comes to when you're putting technology, you're taking out that manual process and allowing time for something else, because there's always something else to do, always. And maybe that is learning something new that you would have time for.
Could be any number of things, but I really think if you're leveraging it, and of course, if you're stuck on leveraging it and you're like, yeah, that all sounds good, Neil, but I don't have anybody that can do that. Have a chat with us. We can help out.
Absolutely. Well, now you know what the Revenge of Technology is all about. Join us next time, June 2nd, is it? For the
yes, June 2, I believe. Yeah.
June 2, first Thursday of each and every month. If you have a topic that you want us to cover, then let us know, and that's what we will cover.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.